And then this one, you can't read the address on it. This is a box. Postage was $2.44. It was packed up on Fifth Avenue. Some guy named Harry Winston gave it to one of his guys to take to the Central Post Office in New York, took the subway, $2.44, put it in the U.S. mail. A few days later, it came to Washington, D.C., and in it was the Hope Diamond. We kept the box, and you'll be glad to know we kept the diamond. But we almost didn't keep the diamond because Harry Winston sent it to the Smithsonian in 1958, and in 1962, there was a guy running France called Charles de Gaulle. And that diamond, that Hope Diamond, that blue diamond, was stolen during the French Revolution, 1792, in September. It disappeared. And de Gaulle, who fancied himself, the kind of new ruler of France, he wanted to do what Napoleon couldn't do, which was reunite the French crown jewels. So de Gaulle gets in touch with the Smithsonian and said, could you send that blue diamond to the Louvre? We'd love it in Paris. Well, what do you think the Smithsonian said? We were politely. And finally, he knew Jackie Kennedy. Jackie Kennedy loved French culture, French background. So Jackie Kennedy calls the head of the Smithsonian and said, I'd like you to send the Hope Diamond to France, to President de Gaulle, so they could show it in the Louvre. We were worried, we wouldn't get it back. We'd give him this diamond. How are we going to get it back? And so the head of the Smithsonian is perplexed, calls the Chief Justice, who's the Chancellor of the Smithsonian. At that time, it was Earl Warren. He says, do I have to listen to Jackie Kennedy and send de Gaulle his diamond? He says, I think you do. Tells the curators are going like, oh man, what are we going to do? We can't send the diamond to de Gaulle. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? So, Dave, staff here, all museum staff have their curatorial guide to doing museums. And somewhere in your guide to museum is a little entry that says, when all else fails and somebody wants to make you give up something, you take a hostage. And that's what we did. So we sent the Hope Diamond to de Gaulle in France, and in return, he sent us a lovely lady with an enigmatic smile by the name of Mona Lisa. That's how museums work. We get deliveries. You saw it? Yeah. We get deliveries to the Smithsonian that come in many ways. So the Hope Diamond came by the U.S. mail. Go figure, $200 million diamond comes, $2.44 postage. A few years ago, we retired the U.S. retired the Space Shuttle Discovery. It had done close to 150 million miles. Came on a 747. It was supposed to come down the Mall of the United States once. Like go over the Capitol, Washington Monument, Lincoln Memorial, out to Dulles Airport, where we have Smithsonian has its Hazy Air and Space Center, and retire it. The problem was 5 million people came out of their houses, stopped on the highway, and everybody was watching these guys fly overhead. And as our General Daly, the head of our Air and Space Museum, says, you give a flyboy a crowd, they'll fly forever. So they just kept flying around Washington okay already, we get it. And they just flew and flew and flew. It was pretty amazing. And then when they landed, we had these two space shuttles next to each other, the Discovery, which is a little beat up, and the Enterprise, which was the test vehicle that was in better shape. And so a once-in-a-lifetime movement. We had all the astronauts from John Glenn on there for that. And then, of course, the Enterprise came here to New York, to the Intrepid, and the space shuttle ended up in the Smithsonian. We get other kind of deliveries. You'll remember the pandas at the National Zoo. They originally came because Nixon went to China, opened up China. And then as I was writing the book, pandas were number 71 in the book, and as I'm writing, all of a sudden I had to do 71A. No. And then, for the next edition, we're doing 71B, Bow Bow and Bebe. So items come to us in all kind of ways, all kind of packages at the Smithsonian, but it's your national museum. These are national treasures, and they tell a wonderful story of our country, our planet, and humankind. Thank you.